Hey everybody, Mr. The Fanboy here. This is my review of the second edition of TNA Impact. There's 30 more minutes left in the show. This is my review of the August 19th edition of Impact Wrestling. I decided to review it now since I pretty much saw all the parts I missed. As always, an awesome episode of Impact. Not as awesome as the last 2 weeks episode, as the last week's episode of Impact and the week before that, but another awesome episode of Impact. The show started off with Jeff Jarrett, with Jeff Jarrett in the ring, Ethan Carter the third, Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett in the ring, and Ethan Carter the third interrupts both of them, and reminds them that this is the house the Carters built. This is the house the Carters built, and Ethan Carter tells Jeff Jarrett to go back to GFW, because he doesn't want no part of this. And throughout this, pretty much throughout this show, Ethan Carter the third tries to get out of his title defense against PJ Black in the main event. But can't seem to do it. So Jeff Jarrett gives him the speaks since Jeff Jarrett uses his power and speaks with the board of directors. To either have if Ethan Carter doesn't defend his title, he will either be stripped of the title. If he doesn't defend his title, he will be stripped, or it's either defend the title or be stripped of the title, and that's pretty much one of the major plot lines throughout the night. The other plot line is of course Karen Jarrett accusing Ethan Carter III of taking out Drew Galloway and Bully Ray, and of course Jeff Jarrett convincing Dixie to let him run TNA Impact, let him run Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling. The very first match of like I said, this was a good promo to start off the show. The very first match of the night was the ladder match, the microphone and the mic check match between Mr. Anderson and Bram. This was an awesome ladder match. This was an awesome, tough, physical ladder match to start the show. Really loving the feud between Anderson and Bram. It's not the best, but it's just two old school, tough wrestlers, tough brawler wrestlers going at it, man. Going at it. I love Anderson. He reminds me of Diamond Dallas Page, Stone Cold, and The Rock. And you got Bram, who's just an awesome, vicious heel, reminiscent of even though he's a heel, he reminds me a lot of Bruiser, an English version of Bruiser Brody. Um, so like I said, this was an awesome match. Anderson wins by hitting the mic check on Bram, and then going to the top rope to retrieve his microphone. And at the end of the match, he cuts a promo on Bram saying he didn't understand a word he just said. And then of course, next segment has James Storm and Koya out. This was an okay segment. James Storm tries to invite Koya back into the Revolution. Koya refuses. And says he's from India and he loves to dance. He loves to do all this stuff. And James Storm says, "You're like these people. You're a joke." And Koya says, "We also like to fight." And Koya punches James Storm in a brawl ensues, and James Storm leaves Koya laying in the ring. Muhammad Shabazz. I keep forgetting his new name. But yeah. This was an okay segment. Gail Kim defeated the Dollhouse members. Defeated both of the Dollhouse members. I think it was a cage match. I don't remember, but defeated the Dollhouse members in a cage match. And I think it was a cage match. But it was definitely an awesome match. She pinned one of the Dollhouse members with her Eat the Feet finisher. Then of course, Eli Drake and Drew Galloway fought in a no disqualification match. Awesome physical match. Not as good as the Bram and Anderson match from earlier, but this was still a pretty good match. The match ended when Drew Galloway hit his finisher on Bram off the top rope through the table for the 1, 2, 3. Of course, Matt Hardy kept pestering EC3, saying he will never stop bothering him until he gets another title shot, and Tyrus takes care of it. So later on for the night, it's a match between Matt Hardy and Tyrus. Before that, there's a segment with and Eric Young and Chad Melendez. Eric Young comes out, cuts a promo, says how since Kurt Angle isn't here, he's the best wrestler. He's the best wrestler ever. And then Chad Melendez comes out. And Eric Young and Chad Melendez challenges Eric Young to a match. Eric Young tells Chad Melendez he has nothing he wants. Then cuts himself off and says he has something he wants. He says he wants Chad Melendez's leg. I gotta congratulate Eric Young on being an awesome heel, because this right here pisses me off, man. Him wanting his leg. I remember reading this in the spoilers. This right here pisses me off. And then of course you got who else? Who else is on this episode of Impact? Then you got Bram and Matt. Bram and Matt. Then you got Then you got Taryn Terrell trying to escape from Gail Kim after Gail Kim defeated her Dollhouse members. She runs into Velvet Sky, and then Velvet Sky turns her into Gail Kim, gives her to Gail Kim, and Gail Kim chains her up, and Velvet Sky says the Kim ran away, and that ends that segment. Then of course you got Matt Hardy and Tyrus. Matt Hardy defeats Tyrus in a quick match. This is a pretty good match. In a quick match. And the main event. Then after the match, Ethan Carter III attacks. Matt Hardy and says he will defend his title. Tonight against PJ Black, and PJ Black comes out, and this was an awesome match here. They started off with the technical wrestling. Then of course back and forth action from both men. You had the awesome old school brawling power style of EC3, and the technical martial arts I feel like so of PJ Black. And Ethan Carter III wins the match with his neckbreaker finisher for the 1-2-3, and that ends Impact. Like I said, another awesome episode of Impact. Not as awesome as the last week's episode of Impact and the Impact before that, but another awesome episode of Impact Wrestling. I am loving and enjoying the GFW Invasion storyline. It's really getting good. All right, Super Dog out.